Hello hearties, it's Catherine here, and today I've got some good news for you. The good news is that there is no price police. And the reason I say this is because pricing confusion is one of the biggest blocks to getting out and actually marketing your business and attracting potential clients to your business that small business owners that I come across seem to face. Um, I find that very frequently people admit to me that they avoid going out and marketing their business because they're not clear or they're uneasy about their pricing, or that they actually avoid inviting potential clients into sales conversations. Sometimes they admit that there's actually somebody who's showing an interest in working with them and they avoid getting into that conversation simply because they feel so unclear. And I've had people say to me, not just once, but many times within my programs, I've heard things like, Catherine, I'm not going out networking yet, and I'm not going to go until I get clear on my pricing. And this is actually a really dangerous roadblock to let yourself get held up by, and a really unnecessary roadblock as well, because the thing is, figuring out your pricing isn't something in your business that needs to take a lot of time. So there are things in our businesses that we need to work on, and that it's really essential that we put some time and effort into developing. Things like getting clear on our ideal client, crafting the message for that client so that that client hears us loud and clear, working on developing our signature system or unique branded system, for example. But pricing is not one of those things. Your pricing you can get clear on and make a decision about within 5 minutes, I would say. And really, it's as easy as deciding once you understand a few things. So let me tell you what those few things are. First of all, it's understanding that there is no such thing as the price police. You cannot get this wrong. Nobody's going to come knocking at your door telling you that you've set your pricing wrong and that somehow you're doing it wrong. There's no such thing as wrong. The other thing is that there is no such thing as a right price for your work. There is just no such thing. I mean, for example, if we take a look at what I do, I bet, at the core of it, what I'm doing is I'm offering sales and marketing advice to small business owners. Now, if you're looking for sales and marketing advice for small business owners, you could go to lots of resources online, well, like you are by watching this video. You could go to government, in the UK here, there are government organisations that offer free business advice to startups. There are the banks, some of the banks here offer free business advice to startups. So you can get what I teach for free, or you can pay tens of thousands of pounds or even hundreds of thousands of pounds. There are business mentors just like myself who charge hundreds of thousands of pounds for their advice. And so therefore you can see that with this huge scale of prices in the area in which I operate, ranging from zero to hundreds of thousands of pounds, how do I know the right price? Well, the way I know is by setting the price that's right for me and that's right for my ideal clients. And the thing is that not only is there no such thing as a right price, and not only is there no such thing as the price police, but you can change your price anytime you like. So anytime you choose, whether that's based on feedback, external feedback, or whether it's an internal feeling like a gut instinct or just a pull in your belly that says, oh, I'm not charging enough, you can change your price. So the important thing really is that you get started. And, talking about price police, as an example, I have an online program. There are people who charge £2,000 to £3,000 for probably less material and support than is included in a program that at certain promotional times I have offered for as little as £500. Now, if there was a price police, believe me, they would definitely have knocked on my door by now. That's for sure. So here's what you need to do. And if you are relating to this message and you are one of these people who feels like, oh, I can't really go out and let people know what I do because I can't talk confidently and clearly about my price, then I want to take you through a really quick process, and I would love to have you do this right away. So first of all, I want you to choose a price. Any price will do. And then I want you to decide to stick to that price, knowing that you can change the price at any time you choose. You can choose to increase the price, or you can choose to decrease the price. The only thing you're not allowed to do is change that price on a whim while you're in the middle of a conversation with a potential client. So your price needs to be fixed. So let's say your pricing needs to be fixed. Maybe you write it down and you stick it on the wall in your office. And that's like a fixed menu of pricing, as though it was a menu in a restaurant. And you can never waver from that. So if you're mid-conversation with a potential client and you say the price for my healing program is £600, then £600 is what it is. But at any point you choose, you can retreat to your office and you can review your menu of pricing, and you can look at that and you can think, you know, based on the results I'm getting at the moment and the amount of energy that I'm putting into my work, I don't feel that I'm charging enough to reward myself for my experience and for, you know, what I'm putting in. I'm going to increase that price to £700. And you can do that anytime you choose. So my message for you really, I think what you're getting from this is, my message for you is just get started. You will get further and faster in business if you start somewhere and are willing to move than if you stand still waiting to get clarity. And the truth is, between you and me, and not everyone is going to say this, but between you and me, most of us, myself included, start off not charging enough. I know I certainly did. When I started as a coach, I was charging, the first client I enrolled was I charged £60, UK pounds, for a 6-week coaching package. So, and then when I started this business, again, I wasn't charging enough. I think the first workshop I ran, teaching the content that currently goes into my online program, I charged £47 per person. And so not only is it fine to not charge enough to begin with, it's also, for many of us, it's a part of that journey. And I would far rather see you start off with your prices a little bit on the low side, but actually get moving, than stand still while you agonize about it. So I really hope that makes sense, because you can't get in touch with what you should be charging when you're standing still. So for example, if I had not started out charging £1,000 for my private VIP days, I never would have had that moment in a VIP day one day where it's almost like my heart sank and I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm just not charging anywhere near enough in relation to the value that people are coming away with from these days, and increased it to, you know, closer to what it is now, which is £3,000 currently. But I never would have reached that sense of value at £3,000 for the day had I not started at £1,000 for the day. The other place where people get stuck on their pricing sometimes is just not knowing what price to go for. And I want to again just challenge you on that, because what I find is that most people instinctively know the value of their work. So if you're someone who's listening to this and feeling, yeah, but I just don't know what to charge, Catherine, I'm going to say to you, if you did know what to charge, what would it be? Because if you're like most of the clients I've worked with, you do instinctively know what your work is worth. But there's usually a money story or a self-worth story that gets in the way and clouds it. So you instinctively know the value of your work, but then there's a story like, oh, but who's going to pay for that? Or who do I think I am to charge this much? And I want you to know that it's absolutely okay to know what you're worth and simultaneously not yet feel confident about selling it at that level. So where I've seen clients of mine, so if I take an example of a client that I was working with last summer, she was very clear, her sense of internal value around the work she did was very clear, that the work was the value was £3,000. But she didn't feel confident enough in her ability to sell it at that level. And so she decided to start lower. So she started at £1,000 and worked up from there. And it's totally okay to do that. Like I said, there is no price police. You just need to start where you need to be in order to move your business forward. And if starting lower means you get moving, I would rather that for you than have you paralyzed by indecision, or set a price that is so high that you're scared or you don't feel congruent selling it. So I hope this was useful. Please let me know in the comments below how this has landed, particularly if you are somebody who started watching this video feeling like I've got no idea what my pricing is, so I'm not even going to go out there and tell anybody about my work. Have you decided what you're going to charge? Type in, let me know. Let me know what you're charging. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't yet joined the free Facebook community, come over to Selling from the Heart community on Facebook. It's a free group, and I run regular open Q&A sessions in there, usually on the topic of these blog and video blogs, where I go into more detail on the topic of that week. So do head over and join us there. Hope you found this useful. Like I said, do let me know in the comments. If you found it useful, share it with someone else that you know might be struggling with their pricing. And I look forward to seeing you soon for the very next video. Bye-bye.